So I have just watched the first three episodes of Gnosia, the newest sci-fi anime that is based on a video game, as far as I'm aware. We're going to talk about it because I have a lot I need to say about this, but let me know if you guys have seen it, your thoughts down below, smash that like button, click subscribe, and let's talk Gnosia episodes 1, 2, and 3 right now. So Gnosia is this new sci-fi anime that I believe is based on a game. Now, the whole premise of this anime is very similar to if you've played a game called Among Us or Mafia, or maybe you have played Gnosia. It is very similar to those games where you have this virus creature thing called a Gnosia that takes over the human body. And you must find out who the imposter is, essentially. And in this anime, they go in, they discuss, they vote, and they send someone to a cold sleep. And if it is a Gnosia, the light will go from red to green to notify you that you have successfully got it in there, therefore you are safe. So that is the whole premise of this anime. Now, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, that sounds like it could be, over pretty quickly and get tiring very quickly. But it doesn't. The first three episodes are freaking amazing. I was hooked in because there is something that happens in this anime in the first three episodes that changes the whole landscape. So first we have Yuri, who is our main character that we get to see waking up. He has amnesia. He doesn't remember his memories or anything like that. And he goes straight into that. Now he is being told this is what you gotta do, and he's trying to figure it out. So what happens is in the first day, they vote, someone goes in, obviously, bam, it's not. And then there's a warp that happens. And when the warp happens, humans can't actually move during the warp, but a Gnosia can. And the Gnosia will take a human out, leaving them with a less person, basically. And then they do it again. But in here, episode 1, there's a device that gets given to him after he loses that makes him go in a time loop. So if you've seen the movie Groundhog Day, very similar to that, where he goes back in time essentially and relives it again. Except not quite the same. What happens is when you later on, when you get episode 2, you start to understand why he goes back. The time that he's in is not the same timeline he just was. So everything in there may not be the exact same. And you see that in episode 2 where it changes. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, now this is interesting. And what happens is more characters get introduced. So we start off with 5 characters and now we're up to 7. And the ending of episode 3 introduces more. And what I find so interesting about this as well is they start adding in roles and certain things. So if you have played a game like Among Us, you would know that there's a feature where you can turn off when you vote someone out to whether or not you know that they're an imposter or not. It just says ejected. It doesn't say is an imposter or is not an imposter. It just says ejected. So you have no idea because in one of the episodes, there is 2 of them. So while they think they might have it, the light stays red because there is still one more Gnosia that is still available there. So they don't know whether they got it correct or not. And I love that idea. And then they bring in the engineer role in episode 3, where someone, it's similar but different at the same time, where the engineer can, if they don't get killed, can essentially go and research someone through the database to determine whether they are a Gnosia or not. They get a confirmation where they can see that they are. It's so intriguing, so interesting. And episode 3 was awesome, man. I mean, the first 2 episodes are great. They hook you instantly. You are hooked, you're in, and you're like, oh, because what this anime does so well is it gets you involved. You feel like you're involved. You're trying to work out, and you're like, Yuri, no, man, it's this person. It surely is this person, right? And you're trying to work it all out with him. And it's so freaking awesome because you're just so engaged. I watched these first 3 episodes like that. I just sat down. I was so engaged. I was like, I want an episode 4 because the ending, the cliffhanger ending is insane. Because when you get to episode 3, there's something that happens where you're kind of like, oh, okay, there's more to this. Because there is still now, it drops a huge question at the end of episode 3 that you ask yourself and you're like, why is that happening? There's obviously more to what is occurring. And I think it's freaking awesome, man. It really is. And you would think to yourself, by doing the loop, it would be, stale. Because it's like, oh, well, we've already done this. But it's not, because the characters act differently. Different things happen. So it's essentially like taking you from your moment in time right now and then plucking you out, putting you in the same sort of scenario, but in a different sort of like timeline. And now everything in that timeline is a little bit different. People act a little bit different. There's maybe certain things that you thought maybe, oh yeah, I had a connection with them, I was married to them. Maybe you're not married. Maybe you never met them. That is what is happening. So it's like almost a fresh start every single time, but it's so intriguing. And the animation is great. I must say, the animation is so clean and crisp, and it really does have like this sort of cyberpunk look about it, because it is in the future essentially, and it is on a spaceship. So it has this, futuristic look about it with the colors, the neon, the clothing, everything about it, and we even have a character in here who had been in a really bad accident and looks like an alien, but he's still human because it's artificial skin. So it's all intriguing, but it's the characters themselves, the interactions that they're having, if you've ever played these games, you're going to have so many moments when you are watching this where you're like, I've had a situation where I've been in that exact place with someone else online or your friends. And I think it's just so clever. It really is. And I'm loving it. I'm really loving the first 3 episodes. I thought, based on the game and everything like that, I thought, it might get stale on that. I thought that. And I thought, is this going to be engaging enough to wanting me to watch more? But it did. The way that they have written this, the way that they have created this, makes you want to watch the next episode. It makes you want to go, and it flies by. The pacing of the episodes is really, really good, because they don't dwell on it. They don't sit there. Like the first episode is a whole round. You watch a whole round of a game, essentially. And then the second episode is a whole round of a game. And then the third episode is the same again. It's not like, you have one episode and it cuts halfway through and then episode 2 is the second part of this game. No, they get straight to the next point. So it feels like it's progressing, and it feels like, okay, Yuri's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. He's starting to notice things, and it's watching him basically develop as the character as he's trying to understand what the situation is and how to beat this system. So it's really, really interesting. I really liked it. I want to know what you guys think. If you guys have seen the first 3 episodes, let me know your thoughts down below. What did you guys all think? Do you enjoy it? Do you not? Smash it down there. And if you've played the game, what are your thoughts on the first 3 episodes compared to the game? Because I've never played the game. I didn't even know it was a game. But I want to know what you guys think as well. Like, how do you compare and contrast this? Is the anime doing it justice? Is it not? Smash it down below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.